sometimes what you hope for and the time frame you have in your head is not the time frame that God has. I didn't know how to be a
What to
father.
do? Yep.
Growing up without, especially my father, it had a big impact on me. You sit back as a child and
Yeah.
you're wondering, where are my parents? What's going on? Why am I not with them?
There's something bigger behind all these struggles. And that's why sometimes people keep repeating the same mistake or getting into the same troubles. Because growing up, I got into a lot of trouble. Because for the fact that I'm seeing you sitting down here with me, means that you did not allow those challenges to get the best part of you. Welcome to It Is Still Possible. It Is Still Possible is a talk show that explores the incredible stories of resilience, hope, and triumph in the face of adversity. In today's episode, we are talking about a topic from struggle to strength. This episode is about sharing the stories of individuals that have transformed their struggles into sources of strength and motivation. Our guest for today need no introduction because he's a familiar face on the show, and personally, he's been a source of inspiration to me. And welcome, Mr. Yomi Page.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
For the sake of our viewers and those that may be joining us for the very first time, do you mind introducing yourself or talk a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Yomi Page. Father of 4, married to 1 wife. I'm a preacher and an author of 2 books, My Flesh, My War, and the new one coming up, Unveiling Your Divine Identity. I'm a Liberian and a Jesus lover.
That's very good. That's a very short and a sweet introduction. Thank you very much for that. Now, before we get going, I would just want to know how was like your childhood like? Did you get into trouble while growing up? What's the worst thing that you did as a child?
Did I get in trouble growing up? I think I got in a lot of trouble. I was this guy who would fight pretty much every child
Around you.
at school or whether in the community, just playing around. I got into a lot of fights. And what's the worst thing I did as a child? A few of them, but one that I can remember still till now is we used to live in a house, 3 different families, and I had a friend that they all shared the same house with us. And one day we playing and he goes, "Oh, let's do a karate fight, me versus you." I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. And from one thing to another, I took it serious, broke this guy's tooth. And I warned him if he told his mom, he's gonna get whooped the next day. Yeah, so he hit that for like a week, and
From the parent?
Yeah, until the head started swelling up, and then my mom found out, and I got whooped
Bigger
for it.
trouble.
Yeah,
I have a different story, of course. Growing up, I got into a lot of troubles as a young person. But of course, we're gonna keep the conversation going. And today, of course, we are talking about us or you going from struggle to strength. And my question for you is, if you don't mind sharing, 1 or 2 of those challenging moments that you went through as a person. This can be in your childhood or as an adult, and not only the challenges or the struggles that you went through, but also how were you able to overcome those challenges? Because for the fact that I'm seeing you sitting down here with me, means that you did not allow those challenges to get the best part of you, and you are able to come out on the other side strong. So what are the challenges and how did you overcome them?
well, that's a good one. As a child, I think one of my biggest challenges that I experienced was growing up in a refugee camp without my biological parents.
Yeah.
Growing up with people that I barely knew. It was hard. And the biggest part of, for me in that moment was just remembering that my father left at a very young age.
Yeah.
About 6 to 7 weeks when I was born.
Oh.
Never got to meet him anyway until I was 25 years old. But those moments were really hard because you sit back as a child and you're wondering, where are my parents? What's going on? Why am I not with them? Other kids are with their parents. I'm here growing up with strangers.
A lot of questions at the
So
back.
a lot of questions were going through my mind, but somehow God kept me going, and I had a hope that one day, that was all gonna be over.
Yeah.
And then growing up as a a younger man, another challenge came through when I was diagnosed with some health issues, and compiling all of what has happened as a child, coming into my early adulthood, and finding out some difficult stuff about myself was very challenging. But one thing I knew was that of all of the things God allowed me to get through, He had a purpose for me.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that purpose was.
Yeah.
But the fact that He kept sustaining me
Preserve your
throughout
life.
everything,
Yeah.
I trusted that there was something
Bigger.
for me at the end of it. You know.
Oh, it's challenging. I know exactly what it means. Like, I grew up, of course, with my parent, but at some point in my life, my dad was not there, so I know what it means, like growing up without your dad. But in this case, you having both parent and at a very, tender age, very challenging. And of course, health. We know how these things can be.
Yeah.
You go and then they tell you this thing, you are even shocked. You don't even know where to start, like what to do next. I know you may have mentioned one or two, but what are some of the things that help you to overcome those challenges? So you already mentioned that, knowing that in all of this, there's a plan of God, even though I'm not aware of it, but having that faith and knowledge that there's something bigger behind all these struggles. Are there any other thing that helped you, that sustain you?
Yeah, definitely. Two things that helped me throughout my life. One was my relationship with my grandmother, because she, from a very young age, I spent some time with her.
Yeah.
And one of the things she taught me was to always trust in God. I didn't understand what that was
Man, yeah, at
for
that
a very
time.
long time, being a child.
Yeah.
But I just knew that she believed in something, and she wanted me to believe also in that thing.
Yeah.
Because my grandmom, she was very young when she was struck with leprosy, and she survived it. She died at the age.
So she had the experience.
So she had the experience of
and the
trusting
testimony.
God.
Yeah.
So she taught me that, and she died from age 13. She was struck with leprosy, but she lived up to 102. So that was a big testimony, and this was someone who is a living testimony of what God is like.
Yeah.
So when she said trust in God, that was one thing I held on to, and one of the things that were my strength throughout those moments was my mom was a very strong woman. Even though I didn't spend a lot of the time with her, but I knew that she was somewhere making sure that one day we will reunite. So that was a bit of hope for me.
That sustain you.
Yeah.
And it is good, like having the faith, but also having that physical support, like in your case, in your grandmom.
Yeah.
And in the hope, the living hope in you that I may not be seeing her. She's somewhere. She's also praying that one day I'll meet my son. I'll be reunited with my son.
That's right.
And that's really good. Thank you very much for sharing. And my next question is, like your case is different, like every one of us. But there may be someone that is going through challenges, maybe a health issue. They've gone to the hospital and they have diagnosed them and they are, down. Maybe it's a financial challenge that they are going through, or difficult in their relationship. What advice can you give to such a person, you having gone through such experiences?
Well, yeah, this is what I would say. Well, you may not have the kind of grandmother that I had. You may not have the kind of testimonies that I have. But one thing I'll tell people is that there is a God,
Yeah.
and the God who has made you has a purpose for you.
Definitely.
And all you really need to do is trust in this God, because there are things in our lives that are way out of our control. And if something is out of your control, there's no need fighting or trying to solve them
Yeah.
when you don't have control over it.
Of course.
So the one who has control is the one you turn to.
You trust. Yeah.
So I tell people, whenever you're faced with situations that you do not have control over, that you cannot help yourself out of, there's only one man that you can turn to, and that's God.
That's God.
Yeah. So that would be my advice to anybody.
Your advice.
Yeah.
That's very good. Turn to God, as you say. He's the ultimate. We are all limited. Human being, we can try here and there, but He is the ultimate. And turning to Him, you are turning to the right source,
That's
and you
right.
are turning to the best person. And now, sometimes experiences in life, there are people that can learn from those experiences. I believe you have learned
That's right.
few things from your experiences. What two lessons? I will limit it to two because of time. What are two lessons that you have learned, from your challenges, either from childhood, from adulthood, where you are now? What are some of the lessons that you learn when it comes to dealing with challenges that you can share for the benefit of our viewers?
Well, one would be for me, when you make mistakes that get you into places, into tight corners, don't beat yourself. If you cannot reverse what has happened, you move on from there and not make the same mistake the next time.
Are you talking about not living in regret or yeah?
Yeah. So if something has happened and you cannot turn back the hand of time, you cannot reset what has happened. You can't dwell on it.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the capacity to take it back. It's not like a movie where you can rewind.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I came in, because most of the time it happens to us where we have made a mistake, or we find ourselves in situations that are beyond our control, and we put ourselves in this little box or prison where we blame ourselves.
Yeah.
We live in regret. We live in shame or pain, whatever it is. So you are saying, like, it has happened. You have limited control over whether you did it knowingly or unknowingly.
Yeah.
But don't allow yourself to live in regret.
Yeah.
And then just step out and forge ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Just clarifying that. The
No,
next
it's for sure.
second point that you were about to make.
Second point, it's keep trusting God.
Keep trusting God.
Keep trusting. Because sometimes what you hope for and the time frame you have in your head is not the time frame that God has. So just keep trusting.
Trusting in God.
And trusting in God and holding on to Him. He knows the perfect time for when things change.
Yeah.
So that's my key point.
Trusting in God and don't live in regret.
Yeah.
I think these are very vital lessons that you have learned, and I believe for some of us, watching or listening, there are many advices that you can give to someone, or lesson that you may have learned. You can either leave this in the comment section so that someone else can benefit from it. Now the last thing I want to ask you or want to know from you for today is that you've gone through challenges in life, and you have overcome some. You learn from some, and etc. What is something that you are most proud of? It can be an achievement. It can be an achievement or something in your life that today, when you look back, when you look at it, it brings joy to your life. There may be many, but just give like one.
Well, my family.
Your family. Wow.
Growing up without, especially my father, it had a big impact on me. And especially when I had my first son.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to be a father.
Yep.
And I think God has done me well by giving me children that can look up to me. And I think I would not say I'm proud of it, because it's not something that I have achieved. It's something that God has helped, me or put in my care. Just giving me children that I can give back to
Yeah.
something that I didn't have. That's my biggest blessing, and that's something that I'm grateful for.
I believe the prayer of many, most especially for some of, the people that did not grow up with either both parents in their life or, a single parent in their life. And they have made it a prayer to be present in the life of their children, to be
That's
a
right.
blessing, to be able to impact the knowledge, the whatever like God has deposited in them to be that, blessing. And
That's right.
I really want to take this time to say a very big thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Page, for taking your time and having a chat with us today. And that's all we have for you today. Please don't forget to leave your comment. Don't forget to share this video, like it, subscribe to our channel if you have not. And may God richly bless you. Until next time, stay safe and be blessed.
Bless you.